Yes, sir. 9 to 5 Sports Guys, episode 9. It's your boy T,
Check it. It's your boy Nam.
It's your boy Sheen.
aka Big Chip. And take it away, Big Chip.
All right, I'm gonna start with you, T. Who you think the king of LA is?
That's kind of tough. Somebody kind of changed my mind earlier in the week. Initially, I was saying LeBron because they had a better record. Not even to be biased, but the person said that right now there really is no king because neither one of them has won a championship in Los Angeles. But what they did say was you would have to give it to Kawhi, being as that he's the best player in the world. I would have to disagree with Kawhi being the best player in the world only for one reason. Kevin Durant is still in the league. Even though he's hurt, he's still in the league. So I would give it to either Kevin Durant. LeBron, not so much. He has to put if he could put an MVP season together this year, he would be in the conversation. But it's between Kawhi and KD with me as far as being the best player in the world. But right now, in my opinion, I think the best or the king of LA is nobody.
I think it's wide open, man. And like I said, it's just basically the same answer as nobody because the Clippers came out the gate running, which they should because it's a team that was already established. They had the same core. The Lakers have put together a good run recently. LeBron is with 2 games back to back with triple double, 3 games back to back with triple double, and they're 8-1. So it's wide open. There's nobody head and shoulders above the Knicks right now. Until we see like Terrence's rule, 25 games, we can't really make a decision on that. But it's wide open. It could even be Anthony Davis because he looks just as good as Kawhi and LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my take on the season, for me personally, I can't really see what a team is really made of in the first 2-3 weeks. Give me 25 games, that's basically a quarter of the season. And then you can really see who's doing what, you know what I mean? So you're gonna see who's starting off hot, who dies down, who does what. But what do you think, like in your opinion, who you think is right now the king of LA?
There's no king. You have to win to be the king of LA. Nobody was. Come on, man. No king. LeBron is playing good though.
Yeah.
I ain't no LeBron hater. He's playing good, real good. Kawhi gonna sit out, play.
Their load management.
6 games. You know what?
That's crazy.
They got fined for that because he was never hurt.
Yeah.
He wasn't never wrong.
But see, here's my thing,
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
If you're hurt, you're hurt. Like I can't question that. But you can't tell me that 2 weeks into the season, you hurt, and then
the next night
you
drop 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
well, they never said he was hurt. They was like resting him.
no, they were saying that he's dealing with a knee injury or something that's lingering, soreness.
He told on himself, saying that he felt good in the little
like Paul George is hurt. That's why he's not playing. He's not playing and then not playing and then playing. Now, obviously they can't do it because they'll get fined. But if they're preserving him for the playoffs, that's fine. You know what I mean? But this whole
how do you preserve somebody 6 games into the season?
I'm trying to make sense
2
of
weeks
it.
into the season,
I'm trying to make sense of it. Growing up in the 90s and in the early 2000s, you played. It was no such thing as no load management.
Like it's like getting a new job and you start calling out the second day of your job. Like how do you do that? That don't make no sense.
I mean,
didn't Paul George come back though?
No, he's practicing now. He's practicing, but he's I wonder how that dynamic is going to work because him and Kawhi literally play the same position.
Yeah, actually, I think he's gonna mess them up.
I think it works perfect because either or can play off ball,
right.
and it's been proven both of them can play off ball.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not ball hogs, they're very
well,
selfless.
we know one thing: Kawhi's not going. His career high was 9 assists. That was this year. So he's not going to dish it out like that. He's going to score, but
You're right.
he's not going to look to facilitate.
You're right, but I think you run the offense through Kawhi and Paul George's Robin, and you just play off of them that way.
Well, if I'm Doc, whoever gets it going, that's who I'm riding with that night.
True.
Instead of just giving it, okay, we're gonna Kawhi, and you know what, Patrick Beverly might have it going.
Yeah.
So you know what, we're gonna keep running plays for Pat Beverly.
Whoever got the high
hand, just
It'll definitely be interesting how they close the games out because Lou Williams.
That's what I'm saying. If he's hot,
game out with them, so now you got 3 guys.
right now, Lou Williams has been a closer for them this season.
Right,
So
right.
and he's been constant. Besides Kawhi, whenever he does play,
Right.
but Lou Williams has been consistent for the last couple of years too.
Yeah,
He legitimately can start on a lot of teams, great teams, but he plays that role so well. But what works for him is that it's not okay. You're not starting, but he's playing starters minutes. He's coming off the bench.
Yes.
He's putting up points, and then he's finishing the game with the starters.
Yeah.
So it really don't matter how you start.
It's the James Harden ordeal, though. OKC James Harden ordeal, where he doesn't start the game, but he's playing significant minutes of the game, and then he closes the game out with the starters in the fourth.
Where you think they put Paul George at the 2? They'll run the 2, right?
I think so.
Nah, I would put him at the 3.
Kawhi gonna play the 3.
It's really positionless basketball with them.
True.
Because Paul George can even run some of the 1. He don't. It doesn't have to be a specific thing anymore. He can run the 1. You could throw Pat Beverly on the. You know what I mean? You could throw any of them at any position.
That's true, but I'd keep Kawhi at the 3 because Kawhi's willing to go in the post. Paul George don't really like going in the post like that. At least the mid-range post area where you operate, Paul George doesn't really like doing that. He's more of a face-up downhill guy. That's more of his game. That's what he likes to do. We've seen that in OKC. And in Indy.
Now, if you're Doc just starting off, this is not going to be all season.
Right.
Do you introduce him by bringing him off the bench?
No. I think you start him,
You start
but you ease his minutes in there. You don't start him 48 minutes off.
Their bench is already.
Yeah, I think
They already got their bench down. But look, what's the boy Shimmitt or whatever?
Nah, I think right now he's starting.
Shimmitt. Put him on. You let him come off the bench once Paul George get back.
But you just ease Paul George in there. You don't, because you kind of want him to build a chemistry over time. You don't just throw him in there and say, all right, figure it out. I think you ease him in there, and then they'll collectively get used to it.
Yeah, right now the Clippers are 6-3. The 2 games that Kawhi load managed,
They lost.
Okay. Now that's going to be a big difference from Toronto because in Toronto they went 17-5 without him.
The East is weaker though. That's why.
This basketball is basketball. If the East is weak, they win a championship.
No, I'm saying the East. You can load management a lot more in the East because.
I mean, they still got to play teams from the West anyway. I'm sure in that 22 games or whatever, they didn't only play teams from the East Coast.
But they probably played more conference and divisional games in that space. So the gap.
Do you know that for a fact?
I don't know for a fact.
That's what I'm saying. We're not even going to assume that.
But
I'm just going to say.
I'm going to assume that because they can't load management against the West and win that many games. I think we can assume that for sure.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Yeah,
before,
last year.
I'm talking about the Raptors. The Raptors couldn't do that against the West for sure. Like they're gonna win 17 games at 17-5.
I think it was a mixture of both because I mean that's a big sample size.
I'm sure
20-something games. That's a huge sample size. Yeah. So for them to win 17 and only lose 5,
I'm sure. But they had to have played.
Charlotte
3 times in like 5 weeks or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it had to be something to that effect.
Yeah,
and then in between there's Western Conference teams.
I'm gonna look up the schedule once the thing is over because the point is they won those games regardless if you load manage or not. They won those games.
You're right.
So that's what I'm saying. You're doing that on a squad where you 1 or 2 games might separate you from being the 2nd all the way to the 7th seed. So you can't really afford to take games off if you don't have to.
True, but as a coach, I'm sure you would look and be like, all right, I'm not going to load management when we got the Lakers coming to town.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to load management when you got
he did
somebody weak. You know,
he did it
Knicks or
against
you know.
Giannis. They load managed against Giannis.
They probably felt they could lose that game. They're okay with that. Or they probably look at their roster and say, yeah, we can figure out a way to win this.
Nah, you can't. You
Against
load
the
manage.
West, you can't do it at all, though. If you're playing any of the Western Conference teams
I mean,
this season specifically,
Any
you cannot
game
do that.
in general, forget the West, forget the East, any game in general, because you losing to the East does affect your record at the end of the year.
You're right, but I have to disagree there. If I look at, I have the Knicks coming up, or Charlotte, or Memphis, I'm low management. I'm cool. As a coach, I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And even if you lose, then you just take that bullet as a loss.
Yeah, but I mean that we're talking about seeding right now, and if you're going to, be one of those teams at the end of the year, you can't afford to be a 5 to 8 seed. You're looking to get them top 4 spots.
I think with the talent they have, they could be an AFC and still win it all.
Nah, because then they got to play on the road basically the whole playoffs.
They can play on Mars and they can still beat you.
Okay. Since y'all talking about load management, what y'all think about it though?
Now, a couple of years ago, when they, I was,
The Spurs actually started the load management bullshit.
yeah.
They all started it.
But
Pop started it.
I'm 50-50 on the load management because if you, let's say you
It
load manage,
depends on if you really
if it works,
Tired
if you
and-
if you load
Yeah,
manage,
yeah.
if you load manage, and you happen to win the championship, then it works.
I mean, it worked last year. He did it last year and it worked.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
forget
50.
LeBron was doing it too now with Cleveland.
Cleveland and Miami.
And
Miami.
But
And
if
the
you
Spurs did it too when they
Yeah.
won with Kawhi.
Yeah.
They did it with
Yeah.
Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was
If-
load management the whole
if
season.
you load manage,
He was old.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
but see
Not in
if
your prime.
if my thing with that is they
I
should
understand
do it.
with LeBron too, 'cause he was carrying his team too.
Yeah. But if you're gonna do it, it has to be
The back end of the season.
it got to be after All-Star break.
All-Star, yeah.
After All-Star break, before All-Star break, give the fans what they want to see, give everybody what they want, and that way it makes it easy on both sides. Because as a fan, you trying to go to the game, you don't know when the players are going to load manage. You know what I mean? Until right before the game start. But if, let's say, the argument's sake, the NBA puts in a rule, you know what? History has shown that when you load manage certain players, they perform better in the playoffs, which ultimately makes us look good because we got a better product. Now, you can load manage, but it has to be after the All-Star break. Just like you have the trade deadline after the All-Star break and everything like that. So, if you can have it to where load management is cool, unless it's like a real injury. But if it's a real injury, you shouldn't be playing at all.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it. If you really hurt, don't half-ass it. Like, really take time to get your body right.
Yeah.
But if you are going to load manage after a certain point, so that way the fans is like, okay, I got them until February to go to these games and see these players. After February, you don't know if they're going to play or not. You know what I mean? Or they could just shorten the schedule.
They won't.
Or probably less back-to-backs. It's hard. I don't really, because I'm 50-50. You know, if I spend that kind of money to go to the games, now that I'm going to these games, it's like, I do want to see these players play, but ultimately, I understand where they coming from. It's like, listen, the regular season don't really mean nothing. Once we get to the playoffs, that's when it really count. So that's just my take on it.
I'm about the same way. If you're really tired, I understand it, but don't just sit out just to be sitting out.
Not the first 2 weeks of the season,
Yeah,
though. You know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying? There's no way it's low management. You ain't even played 10 games yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you ain't even you ain't even breaking sweat. Like,
What you think about it now?
Low management.
About the same, right?
I think it's bullshit altogether.
Yeah.
I don't think it should matter. Like you're paid millions and millions of dollars
Play, you know what
to
I'm
play.
saying?
I don't care what's going on with you. You're not. It's not like it's not football to where it's that much content.
Yeah.
I understand the traveling and you're tired, but you still get paid, bro.
Yeah.
Go
Nah,
play.
that's a fact.
Or at least if you're gonna do load management, okay, cut down the minutes. I would respect that type of load management.
Nah,
As
that, you got a
opposed to
good
you
point.
not just sitting out at
Yeah.
all. Now you got, like Terrence said, you got people that bought their tickets months in advance,
Mhm.
thinking I'm gonna come watch LeBron and he's not playing.
He's not playing. No, that's a fact.
Limit his minutes and say, all right, he's only gonna play 20 minutes a day. Cool, I'm all right with that. I can live with that, but it's hard to imagine that somebody's making $30-40 million
See,
and he wants to just sit.
I agree
Because
with
he's
that.
Tired.
I agree
I don't
with
wanna hear
that. But then, what happens if you get in a situation where it's a close game? Are you gonna keep LeBron just sitting on
Nah,
the bench?
you got to put him.
Well,
You gotta put him
as-
in the
as-
game.
As a competitor,
That's why you cut his minutes, so you be able to put him in.
as a competitor, I'm sure LeBron would want to be in the game at that moment. So now,
But we all know he was not. We all
Nah.
know LeBron wasn't always clutch. Now he wanted to pass the ball at the end of the game.
I mean,
that's besides the fact.
Yeah, it is.
Still,
you need him in because he'll get somebody open.
all right.
I don't like that unnecessary shot you take.
Nah,
So
You
that's
take unnecessary
Yeah.
shots for no
yeah,
reason.
yeah, I'm just fooling around with y'all. Man.
so thus far into the season. Who do y'all see as the favorites outside of the Clippers and the Lakers?
I got Boston right now because Boston has the same.
Now, I'm running that. I'm gonna do the topics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, segue then.
Okay,
man.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like, well, since that, I'll get back on the King of LA. Hold
We've
on.
been dragging this thing out for a minute.
Cause I'm letting y'all talk, man.
I
Let me
got
get
it.
y'all point across. But back to the Kings of LA though. I was seeing what the Lakers was talking about Jamal Crawford.
What is Crawford gonna do for this?
Yeah.
Bench play.
You
I
don't-
mean, listen,
you don't need Crawford.
You don't need Crawford. What the Lakers
You need him later in the back end of the season.
What the Lakers
Bro,
can continue
their
to
benches
do.
ain't not strong like that.
That's what I'm about to say.
Right, but
Keep
Rondo still
Kuzma
ain't
on the
played
bench.
Yeah.
Have Kuzma be that second unit guy. He already has a neon green light. So
Yeah.
just have him coming off the bench and continue to thrive off the bench. That's it.
I would get Jamal Crawford. I would get him.
But how many minutes you gonna
But
give
you
him?
don't know it's Kuzma. You need both of them to come out the bench.
Now let me ask you this: would you rather Crawford or J.R. Smith?
Crawford.
That's what I told him the other night.
Crawford. Crawford
J.R.
is.
Smith, you don't know what the hell
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
get from him.
Yeah, but if you
You
have
can
him
get
coming
40 or
up,
you can get 2.
yeah, but you can limit his. You don't need him for. If you could get 10 to 15 out of J.R. right now, that's a plus.
You can get a game winner or you can get him running the half court.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be situation.
He might score for the other team.
You
Nah,
yeah, you can get
situations.
anything out of him.
If he got it going, you keep him in. If not, you put
I
him
know
on, take
him
him
get
off
out
the
of
bench.
Crawford every time.
Yeah,
I
this
know
man
him.
was.
Yeah,
in,
but
this
he's
man
a
was in the
liability.
finals and got the rebound and ran the other way.
And as far as
He need to average like
anybody
15.
coming out the East, Boston,
Forget about Philly.
Milwaukee,
Philly.
you still can't count out Toronto. Toronto, because they lost, obviously, Kawhi Leonard, but then they gained, what's his name? I still can't
Who,
see his name.
Siakam?
No. He,
And Anobi. man.
okay, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. They added him
Obi
back.
what?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Toronto was not even in the picture, man.
Toronto,
I
what are you
think-
talking about?
See,
They gonna make the playoffs, but they gonna get beat in the first round.
Nah, yeah, they'll be a top 4 seed.
You gonna put a
I
drink on
think
it?
First round.
First, they gonna get beat in the first round?
they might.
Yes. If
But-
they have to play
No.
Philly,
They-
Boston, or Milwaukee, they're gonna lose in the first
Nah,
round.
they're gonna be a top 4 seed, bro.
And the four play what? Don't the
Siakam.
four play three?
5.
Siakam is averaging 28 a game right now.
4 plays a 5.
That's because he only played 10 games.
Bro,
He's
putting up-
killing. He's
putting
put.
up
He had
garbage
44 the other night.
Yeah,
Why-
30 something the night before that.
Okay, then why?
He's elevated his game to another level. If you can get most improved back to
Yeah.
back, he can get most improved again.
Yeah.
But he's not. I don't think you give him that back to back.
Nah, he's not gonna get that back.
But he has improved a lot, significantly.
I mean, honestly,
he's at another gear.
he's just continuing what he's did in the finals last year.
Yeah,
Because he killed in the finals last year. So he's averaging 27.9
right now?
and 9 rebounds.
and they're winning.
I didn't even know that.
He's killing.
Yeah, he's
And
killing
they're
right
winning.
now. And you know,
Which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing
Yeah,
as
I
you
did.
did. I didn't think they would do much without Kawhi.
who
The Raptors.
listen, that small simple. Well, two things that I said the small sample size that they had without Kawhi last year said a lot because basically you have the same squad. I mean, they added Marc Gasol, but you basically that's a large sample size, 20-something games.
I think they should have kept Valanciunas. Is that his name, Valanciunas?
Yeah,
Nah, but it worked out. It worked out.
But I think in the long run now we see that Mark isn't what we thought Mark is.
You don't need him to be. You just need him.
He's older. I
Yeah.
think Valanciunas is younger. He
who was
can be
they
the same
center?
as Mark.
I think.
Serge.
Yeah, Serge is coming.
He's hurt right now.
Yeah, but the thing was, besides that small sample size, a lot of people forget because we live in a microwave society. The Raptors had the best.
They had the number one seed
seed.
the past 3 years.
Yeah, they just kept running into that brick wall, and LeBron James.
They also had DeRozan. I can't forget about him.
And he's arriving at best right now.
Yeah, he's a Robin, but they
maybe
played.
the third option,
They played
to be
great.
honest.
They played great. Team ball for whatever. But Siakam is balling, but a lot of people are counting out them obviously because they lost Kawhi. I wouldn't sleep on them. I wouldn't
either.
And then
I still got them losing at
them
least second round.
the surprise though, and I gotta give Nam credit. I don't want to give too much credit because I don't think he knew
You hate to love it.
Miami is
You
balling.
hate to love him.
The Heat
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I don't even. They'll lose to Miami in the first round.
They'll probably face each other. Miami could be the number 5 seed.
Yeah, they're gonna lose to them.
But I don't know. I mean, I like the kid Hero who's my
Still
pick.
got Dragic, right?
Yeah, but he's coming off the bench though.
But they let Whiteside go.
They're playing fast. They're playing up
They got
tempo.
the boy that jump out the gym, right?
Yeah.
Come from the D League?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see with Whiteside they can play a more up tempo game.
Mhm.
They got Bam, down low, and Bam is athletic. He getting the ball, he's going. So
He had a decent mid range too.
and then with Jimmy Butler, Hero, and is it Nunn or Dunn?
Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Dunn. They play good half court basketball. Yo, Tyler Hero, shout out to Tyler Hero.
They have the Clippers situation where you had a decent core already and you just plugged in a rookie and a veteran in Jimmy Butler and then you just run with the flow.
Okay. Since y'all talking about rookies, who y'all got winning rookie of the year?
Between RJ Barrett and Zion.
Man, RJ Barrett has been playing bad. Man.
It's wide open, man. It could be Tyler Hero. It could be. Can we say Kendrick Nunn? Can we throw him in?
I mean, he's like 36, but yeah.
Nah, it's not wide open.
It's wide open, bro.
When Zion comes back, Zion is going to average 20 something.
John Morant had a good 2 weeks, but he's not the same anymore right now. But he's still getting a feel for the
No,
game.
John, he averaged about 25.
20, yeah. He the last couple of games, he definitely did. But like I said, and I'm going to say this on episode 9 5 Sports Guy, Zion is going to win. When he comes back, and if he comes back healthy, he's going to average at least 20 and 10.
Zion.
It's a whole lot of ifs there, man.
Man, you know he's gonna average that.
He going to average. He averaged what 26 in the preseason.
Yeah,
You're right.
He's going to average at least.
Zion, Morant, and that boy, the Nunn dude. I ain't seen him play yet, but
What about
Euro? None.
What about Tyler Euro?
Nah, the thing
I was
is,
saying Euro.
wait,
I was calling him Euro.
huh?
Like the Euro,
Euro stuff?
Tyler Euro.
Yeah.
It's that country stuff, boy. Nah, but I like Hero over Euro. But I like Hero because the kid has something, and I think I was talking to Nava about that. They don't teach a lot of kids nowadays.
Mid-range.
That mid-range.
Yeah.
See, nowadays it's either 3-pointer or dunking or getting to the basket. Nobody wants to play that in-between game no more. That's eliminated but he stop and pop, one dribble pull up.
A lot of mid-range.
Yeah, catch and shoot. He did a move the other night that was crazy because he could have went to the basket, but the defender was on his hip, stopped on the dime, and so I was like, yo, this kid, I like his game because, Jason Tatum is another one that can play mid-range, and people don't understand you can eat off the mid-range. It's not just about gunning threes. Obviously that's the easy thing to do, but you can eat off that mid range.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dame. When Dame is going, he hits a lot of
he's
mid-range.
mid range, and that's what I'm saying. Like
mid-range.
that, if you can add that to your game, you putting up 30 before you even know it.
I'm going with Zion or Morant. That's my.
Well,
who you going with?
I'm going with Zion or RJ,
Who you going with now?
the whole Miami Heat squad.
Tyler Hero or Morant or Barrett.
So you don't give no chance to Zion.
I don't know what he's
Man,
gonna look
Barrett-
like. I don't know what he'll look like if he's not.
What is
healthy.
Barrett averaging right now? How many points is Barrett averaging right now?
About 19.
I say Barrett because
Not even 19.
because his role is bigger right now, and
This man was 1 for 10.
Zion has a lot of players around him. Ingram is averaging 25. They're gonna keep running it through him right now. You're not
And you
gonna
don't think
stop running.
you don't think that they can work together, him and
They can, but
Because
the other guys have a head start already. They got 20. It'll be 20-some games by the time he comes back.
but see the thing is,
So he has to do a lot of catching.
nah, but it worked with him and RJ last year. They was both averaging 20 a game.
No. I'm saying the other players are gonna have a larger sample, kind of like when Trae Young came along late in the season, but the argument still was, but Luka was doing it since day one. That's gonna be the argument here. Even though he was hurt, my man Zion is hurt. We can't just give it to him because he missed 20-some games.
I think he's gonna come out like
He should. He
Like,
should.
what-
As long as he's healthy, I'm sure he's gonna be right there.
RJ is averaging 16.
16.
Listen, Malcolm Brogdon got Rookie of the Year averaging 10 points, but he can still get it.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said,
I don't see Barrett.
when
Brogdon averaged 10 points and he got Rookie of the Year.
listen, I watched Zion in the preseason. That's it. Zion is like
That's fine. I agree with you too. It's just my knock to that is just the health. Is he gonna hit the ground running? Cool.
Okay, so who early surprises this year in the NBA?
Miami Heat.
Markelle Fultz. I think he's found his confidence. He's playing well again. He looks like the number one that he should have been. And I think the Magic's believe in him. Of course, Miami and all the other stuff, but that's the key thing that stands out to me right now, Markelle Fultz.
I'm gonna say Miami in the East and the Warriors in the West. I didn't think they was gonna be this
The
bad.
injuries?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
Besides
injuries,
the,
that's why.
the injuries.
Without the injuries, they were in the playoffs. But with these injuries, Russell's not taking them nowhere.
Now
And Draymond, I'm sure they said Steph is not coming back the rest of the
he
season.
might not, but why bring him back?
Exactly. So why even play Green?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Now the only good thing about playing Green is Green can work with these young dudes. But
True.
I said one thing about playing with these young dudes is get a year under your belt. D'Lo's playing good. I would keep him.
You ain't got no choice but to play good.
Yeah, you don't got no choice.
But
I don't
get
even know.
I think he had
They starting lineup. I didn't even know nobody.
none of them.
but get these young dudes, let them get a year under their belt, and then they could get a top. They could get a lottery pick. The Warriors have done it,
And you could find a gem in one of these young guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let them get a year. The kid out of Villanova,
Yeah.
Pascal.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
balling.
Pascal, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You let these dudes get a year under their belt so that when Steph come back healthy, Clay come back healthy, you have
I think you move Russell for something. I think you can get some good assets out of him. I think you can get some good players out of him.
No,
I really
no.
think you can, bro.
Keep him.
I would move him.
You need all the firepower you.
You don't even fit the Warriors.
Yeah, but the original core is going to be back, and that original core took you
Clay
to multiple
is
championships.
And like we talked about last
And
night,
if you move him and get somebody like in the respects of Harrison Barnes, like that type of a caliber of player
you
for
can
him,
because
you're
Harrison
right back
Barnes.
to what you look like.
Harrison Barnes, like you ultimately you lost two key pieces in.
Three.
Yeah. Three.
Well, besides Kevin Durant, I'm talking about the core.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the core, not Kevin Durant. You lost
Steph, Clay.
no Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston. That was a part of your core that got to those,
You're right.
So what you can do is, and we talked about this yesterday. This is not the sexy thing to do, but have D'Lo coming off the bench. Because you ultimately, in order to win a championship, you got to have a bench. You lost 2 dudes in the offseason. Have him coming off the bench, and he can be like that Lou Williams position. Just because you're coming off the bench doesn't mean you can't finish the game with the original
Like,
core.
he's so young. I think that'll mess his whole game.
And that's what I was telling him.
Come off the bench,
You
he
think
might be mad.
He'll be willing to take that coming off the
No.
bench
If you have an
being
opportunity
all-star.
if you have an opportunity to win a championship.
No,
D'Lo's never been close to even winning a championship.
but you got to realize he's a starter. He wants to be a starter.
Starter in
He was.
Ohio.
You don't think?
He was in
He
Brooklyn.
starter
He was a
in
starter.
LA.
too.
Yeah,
he was
but-
a star in Brooklyn.
Don't you think Lou Will wants to be a starter?
No, he's
But
been in the league.
Lou Will has
was
never
a
started.
Yes, he has.
Well, what, a couple of
Philly?
games in
No,
Philly,
he started in Philly.
and then he started coming off the bench and
Yeah.
he accepted that role since.
No, that's because AI came back. AI wasn't on the squad. They got AI back and he got hurt.
And then he started coming off the bench and he accepted that role since.
After he got hurt, he would have still been starting at AI.
We know Lou Williams is a starter, but he's accepted the role of coming off the bench.
Now he's
Exactly.
accepted that. But
He's
he
always accepted that. He said it himself.
Okay, but he started off when he first got in the league. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He started, and then he had that role of coming off the bench.
Yeah, but the dynamics of that and Russ is the man always started. Now you're telling him to come off the bench.
Yeah.
And he led a team to the playoffs, a team that wasn't in the playoffs the previous year, and he was an all-star last year.
So
You think he will accept that at a young age?
if you're
You think he's that?
if you're talking to
you
him,
think he's
I
that
don't
mature?
know him personally, but if you're talking to him like, listen, Russ, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna start you, but you're still gonna get your 30 minutes a night.
That messes. I don't think.
You're getting
I don't
30
think
minutes a
mentally
night.
he's
Yeah,
there.
he ain't there.
You're getting your 30 minutes a night. You coming off the bench for that second
He
unit.
gonna mess up the locker room.
Terrence, look, I agree with you. That makes perfect sense.
That's you
But-
thinking
but-
that.
but this is the
That's why
wrong
I'm
person.
saying if well then if that's the case, who's gonna
You looking from the outside.
Yeah, this
You know
this is
what
the
I'm
wrong
saying?
person to present
Yeah.
this to. This the same
He's not
kid
no
that got
veteran.
ran out of L.A. for
But
being
that's
a mature recording
that was years ago. I
And
think
th-
he's
and then,
surpassed that.
And then this past off season, he was caught at LaGuardia Airport trying to smuggle weed onto the plane. This is the
Yeah.
same immature kid that
Um,
you gonna tell him to come off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, you
And
gotta
he's making
do
so much money right
you
now.
gotta do whatever it takes to win.
It's a
About
good
winning,
idea.
if it's about winning, or if it's about whatever, go to your other team, struggle, make the playoffs, or be with something that we have to build. Andre Iguodala accepted that role. There's plenty of players that accepted that role
But
after starting for
the
so many
mentality
years.
of these guys, they're mature.
Veterans,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? These
I
people
think
are
if you
mature
break
mentally.
it down to him to where, listen, you have the opportunity to do something great. We have the opportunity. We cannot win this without you. We need you to be that guy off the bench. If you start all of them, they don't have a bench. Them young dudes are playing right now, but you need a bench. In order to win a championship, you need a bench.
And that's
Because
why-
that's what happened last year with Toronto. Toronto, after they starters, you had Van Fleet, you had Powell, you had Serge Ibaka. You had a bench that you have to rely on your bench in the playoffs.
That's why I said let him keep playing, showcase him as a good piece, and move him for 2 pieces. Now you have 2 players that can come off the bench for him.
But
As opposed to-
those 2 pieces have to work. If they don't work, you just wasted sending him off for 2 pieces that
Yeah,
didn't
obviously,
work.
Terrence, you're not going to trade him for a washing machine. You're going
But
to trade
that-
him for something that
Give me-
works for your team.
But that's what I'm saying. Who's out there that you want to get in return?
I don't know. But if you showcase him, I'm sure you can get a 2-team or 3-team deal, and then you can get 2 players sent over there and make it work that way.
There's no guarantee that it's going to work.
You know, like the Knicks gave up a whole starting lineup from Melo.
First of all, we're not going to
Hold
talk
on,
about
hold
that.
on,
We're not
hold
going to talk
on.
about the Knicks.
There's-
We're a bad
there's-
organization.
but listen,
That's a bad.
there's-
The Warriors and the Knicks are 2 different
There's
organizations.
a point I'm trying to get to here. Denver figured that, okay, if we give up this one guy, we can get 4 guys in return who can be starters, and we can build off of that. And we're cool with shipping 1. The Knicks figured that, okay, we get 1 perennial all-star or superstar, and we cool with giving up 4 guys for him. You get what I'm saying? So the
Well, the
assets,
trade-
you move the assets for that way. Like
It
it
was-
would make sense.
They
You
traded.
can get
It was
2
like
guys.
5 players for 5. It wasn't just 1 player. They traded a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, but you moved the whole starting lineup for one guy essentially. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
it didn't work out. That's what I'm saying. Like, that didn't work.
It worked for Denver.
Yeah, they made the playoffs, but
Yeah.
that was about it.
Yeah, whatever happened to the Knicks, that's Melo's fault, really. But that's another story. That's another conversation. But that's what I'm saying. You have a good piece, you can move it, you get 2 players in return, and make something happen from there.
Enough of beating each other up, guys. That's about wrap it up for the 9 to 5 sports guys today, man.